Hi guys, this time from Mariupol. This is a very nice restaurant and I want to talk now about the situation why NATO matters for investment. Because I'm here in Mariupol now, this is a very beautiful place and I will show you. I'm directly at the beach place, at the beach promenade, and you remember in Montenegro, I've shown you many of the videos from Montenegro, how the reality is of Montenegro in one luxury hotel after the next at the beach. And do you see the luxury hotels here? I will explain you once more the geography here. I'm at the beach promenade. This is the beach. In the Soviet Union they loved, of course, maybe I can show it like this. In the Soviet Union they loved, here's over there the sea already, and they loved to have railway stations at the seaside because that's only for industrial purposes. And so the sea is just over there. It's now 100 meters from the sea. They built first the railway to transport their need for the defense industry basically, and then they have a very good road. There's nothing bad about the coastal road. And then here, this is of course designed from the urban planning to be one big hotel after the next. I mean, it's logical, and you see also this palatial kind of entrances here, and it's all there. You can of course say that this is the development of Ukraine. No, yeah, partly of course it's also true, but when you have clarity about property rights and about security, then what hinders here investors to build one hotel after the next? I mean, that's obviously the location is perfect. The view would be perfect, the old communist railway systems. It's of course an issue, but okay, in principle the fresh air, the Black Sea, the location, the view. It's now, we are in Ukraine and it's in the middle of February and it's all perfect here. The climate is not cold, it was a very sunny day, and here is one of the construction sites which is in standstill. And of course you have to know that over there 20 kilometers is the Russian army in occupied Donbass. And obviously, when you have a hotel, it costs you maybe 8 million euros to invest in such a big building, maybe 15, maybe 20. It's also costing something, maybe just 4 million. I don't know, it depends on the size, on the location, on the price. In Ukraine you can build quite cheap, so maybe some millions, but some millions you will need. And the question is, do you want to build invest 20 millions or 10 millions or whatever millions when 20 kilometers away is the Russian army? And they are threatening again a new invasion. Obviously not. Therefore, the question of strategic security of a country matters very much, and attached obviously also the European integration. 20 years ago, I was walking through Montenegro, one of the first trips. I was there in 2002, yes, with Mr. Vukatin. I remember very well. And it also looked like this. The old Yugoslav hotels, the shabby, tacky kind of Yugoslavian development. And Budva was a bit of a disaster, full of kiosks and downtrodden. And now, when you go through Budva, and when you go through the whole of Montenegro, but also in Albania, by the way, and for sure in Croatia. The whole Adriatic coast is in NATO. It's safe, secure, and it's beautiful, and there is so much investment. I have shown you many of this already on my video blog for Pax Europiana, because I'm the podcast for peace and prosperity. Because peace, security is then the basis for stable prosperity. Because investment depends on security. You have to have a long-term outlook to invest. Because if you're not sure what is in 10, 20 years, in terms of general strategic outlook of a country, you cannot invest and then expect in 3 years to have the money back. This is a 10 years thing, this is a 20 years thing. So you need strategic security. You need the outlook that something is not for now, but for the next 10, 20 years, that you can be sure. And then when you are sure, then you invest. Because there's the security, stability, and then you still have the business risk that your hotel is in good shape and that the tourists are coming. But here, this is all like potentially luxury investments. Look here, the palatial kind of Soviet sanatorium style hotels which they have built, because it's such a beautiful location directly at the sea. It is potential, it's huge, but 20 kilometers over there the Russian army is, of course not officially, they are officially in Russia, but they are basically controlling the occupied Donbass. Yeah? And here you see the sea. Hello, it's beautiful. It's just over there. And here's the railway station. Here is all these beautiful places of amazing significance. Yeah, they could be wonderful hotels, apartment blocks and skyrise. You know, you can build here certainly Miami style. Mariupol could be the Miami of the Black Sea, but it's not, as you see. You see some old hotels over there, and you see these developments in very poor shape, some Soviet relics of the Soviet tourism industry, and this 30 years after the Soviet Union is gone. This is all 30 years untouched. I guess so, maybe longer. Yes, this is the problem, because when you don't have security, when you just continue with the old things from the past, yeah, and you have the infrastructure of the past, and then you have this kind of development, then obviously nobody comes and invests good money into this kind of. I just crossed the street here. So now here we are in this beautiful place, and we are here in Mariupol. Yeah. Obviously, what they always like, the Soviet city planners, that is of course, you know, their favorite, have the railway along we did it as well, the Austrians, I remember in the monarchy, but that's a kind of ancient way to use space. I'm very much against this prime real estate to be such a usage. Anyhow, that's how they did it, yeah. Here you see some poverty kiosks, and again, I see the location. Here, as far as your eye reaches in both directions, the Mariupol Riviera, built by the Soviet planners with one palatial kind of, they call it sanatorium or hospital, holiday complex, and they're all there. But they are falling apart, because who would really like to invest in them? Who would like to invest millions and millions of euros when the Russian aggression is over there, and when your security of your investment is very unclear? And that's why I say NATO matters so much. It matters, the question of strategic security. It matters for the economic outlook of a country. It matters for the investment volumes of a country, for the foreign investors, for the domestic investors. It matters very much. You cannot separate the strategic outlook of a country from its investment climate and vice versa. Now I'm here at this very beautiful outlet, and I will explain you all the geography of this beautiful city. And here, okay, I hope that was worked. I don't have so much energy anymore, but I have enough of that. That's the huge steelwork, and that's the outlook. I think it's the coal which is delivered either from the region, collected, or it's transported out or used for the coal side. That I don't know, but that's the steelwork. You see, that's of course a huge steelwork. It's not the biggest in Ukraine, there are even bigger ones. And that's again this old railway directly at the coast. So you can go by the railway, jump into the sea. That's not the idea actually, but that is the possibility here. And here again you see one by one these frozen investments of the Soviet tourism industry, which 30 years later, in a kind of a complete freeze of time, it's still out there, and that's Mariupol for you at this moment. This beautiful place, of course, is the Black Sea, and by the way, I always make it very clear, the Black Sea is for everybody, and I will show you this beautiful place here. And here is the harbor of Mariupol. You see over there, so big a harbor. This is a real big industrial harbor. As far as your eye reaches, you have dockyards and you have this huge installations at the sea. This is really not a very touristic place. This is a big industrial asset at the Black Sea with the railways, with the harbor, and with all these beautiful locations. Now I will go up and show you everything in a round tour. This is the viewpoint I have seen already before when I was there. Yes, so here I can show you basically the whole of Mariupol coastal side. This is this ancient Soviet sanatoriums. This is the town itself in the background. This is the slums I showed you before. This is the industrial steelworks and the first part of the harbor over there. And here this nice touristic location. It's not really, it's February, of course, all these locations are not, but when you see how Montenegro looks like now with Porto Montenegro and all these beautiful locations already so invested, and these industrial and military harbors, they are of course in a disastrous shape compared to the Adriatic, because there is already security, there is already safety, and there is also a clear European future. And then all the installations looks best, because that's the best touristic site in the Mariupol harbor, which I could identify. I don't know, it doesn't look very touristy over there. Maybe there is something. I don't know that, obviously. That seems to be the ferry dock. Maybe there is a little bit more touristic opportunities. But to my best knowledge, what I saw, I booked also one hotel quite close here. There's the other hotel, Poseidon. These are the prime touristic assets here. The situation is like this. You can only drink coffee here. There is a coffee place. And a lot of people are here walking on the dock and kind of a walk to the sea. It's very nice. But the conditions of tourism obviously are somewhere in the 1980s. And this after 30 years after the end of the Soviet Union. This is the reality when there is the fight about Ukraine's future and the Russian forces are over there, 20 kilometers away. And some days you might hear the shelling and all these industrial assets over there. And all this unclarity is basically over this place to this day about the future. And then you don't have the investments, you don't have the international investment, but also the domestic investors don't really touch these places. And then, of course, you have a lot of people who want to leave, and they are leaving as well. And then you have this kind of situation in a theoretically extremely beautiful place like Mariupol, which could be the Miami of the Black Sea. And then you have it basically in the condition when Mr. Brezhnev would come here, he would say thank you very much, that not so much has changed from all these times since he left. And then maybe it was even in a better condition technically 40 years ago than today. And now we are in 2022. The Russians threaten again invasion, and the idea is probably not to invade, but to further paralyze the future of Ukraine and leave Mariupol for another 20 years in exactly that condition, because nobody comes to invest because of the insecurity and the lack of clarity about the future of this country. And so that's why I say we should definitely have clarity of the situation inside NATO. And that's my talk about NATO investment from Mariupol, the Miami of the future of the Black Sea. Thanks a lot for listening. More to come from Pax Europiana, from Mariupol. One last view here around. So you don't have to come, but it would be better if you come, because I've been here already here. And by the way, come here, invest, and help Mariupol, defend it and invest in Mariupol, the Miami of the Black Sea of the future. Bye.